Dave made this beat.
Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 268. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Trizzy. What's up, SLAC fam? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, baby.
Yeah, welcome back. We back in the building for another episode, another Tuesday in sports. As we rapidly approach that sweet spot where we have all four major sports in action at the same time. It's definitely going down right now. We got Pops in the building. I see a few other slackers on watching as well. We want to thank everybody for rocking with us each week. And of course, tuning in if you're tuning in later on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate the support for the show. It means a lot to us. Strizzy, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff happened today in NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just over the weekend. So, anxious to get into some of that stuff, you know what I mean? But, so far, so good. I definitely can't complain. What about you? How's the fam?
Yeah, fam's good. We're chilling, man. I'm enjoying having the time with the family, this great bonding time and reaching different milestones. It seems to be happening very fast, but today is actually Luna's 1 month. So shout out to Luna. That is so crazy that already has gone by. I feel like we haven't even slept since then. So So I'm like, how has it been a month already? But it's definitely a blur. And we always talk about this time of year, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It just comes really fast. So, but very blessed, man. Can't complain at all. So that's what's up. We got Anthony Weston in the building as well. Thank you, brother. Got the picture with the trophies. That's what's up. But yeah, I think we're good. I think our brother Marcus is working as always. This man works 28 hours a day. Somehow he finds extra time in the day to work even more than 24 hours. But he's out there working, so we might get to catch him later. But if not, shout out to our brother Matt Marcus as well, as always. So,
man, we're 25-8 is crazy.
Exactly. It's like, dang, and he get paid like that too. That's what's up. That's our boy. Get it. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into our first topic of the day real quick. What's up next?
Oh, let's check it out, man, real quick.
Tune to NFL Talk. Let's get it. All right, so NFL Talk, we gotta start off by giving a big shout out to Pops and also to our boy Franklin Raimundo. Both of them went 14-0 in the Yahoo Pick'em this week, and Franklin actually won on the tiebreaker. So that's crazy. Shout out to Pops being up there both weeks in a row, but shout out to Raymond for hitting the tiebreaker. Can you imagine going undefeated and you still don't get the win? Pops, that's tough.
For real.
You would just assume that was yours, but definitely great job by both of them. I think this was the first time though, and I don't know about the spreads, but basically every favorite based on Vegas's money line won this week. There was no technically upsets, which is pretty crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, that is pretty crazy, actually.
That never happened. So I'm wondering, did Vegas lose? They still find a way to win somehow, but still, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I imagine there are a bunch of us who, you know what I'm saying, who took spreads and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, and still came out short. Because no one expects all the favorites to win. We always look for
something, yeah.
Who's going to be the upset of the week? You know what I'm saying? And if all the favorites won, I'm sure Vegas still won.
I think the only one that beat the spread was Cleveland, losing 20-16 against the Eagles. I think that's the only team that actually covered the spread as an underdog, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anthony Weston says the script for sure. But yeah. Sorry, and it's Franklin Raimundo. Franklin, my bad. I said Raymond, but I meant Franklin.
Yeah. And I knew what you meant, so I don't think I even hear wrong. You know what I'm saying? I even tried to. Try to correct you.
No, everybody gets nicknamed around here anyway, so that's what's
That's
up.
right.
But we'll be going back at it this week on Thursday on Secure the Bag, so definitely check us out there. And I think we did pretty good on our bags this week, but you'll have to tune into that to check in on us and then get our picks for week 7. So with that being said, all the favorites won. Strizzy, were there any standout games to you or any surprises really? I know we have some news to get to too, but I wanted to kind of get your thoughts about the results. I mean, and then I got to talk about my Cowboys too, but
yeah, it sucks. I feel like I had to call that one last week. I had a feeling it was going to be a bad one, but not too much actually. I feel like because of all the favorites that won, I think for the most part, even on Secure the Bag, I think we kind of picked a lot of the favorites to win anyway. I think we were still kind of look for some potential upsets. You know what I mean? I feel like the Broncos have looked pretty decent, especially the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So it was kind of the Broncos kind of looked like the Broncos we kind of expected them to be this year against the Chargers this past weekend. So that was a little surprised. I thought they'd play a little bit harder. They kind of got beat up a little bit by the Chargers, but division game, so who knows? Nothing too crazy there.
true.
Panthers, you know what I mean? Man, it sucks, man. It's like finally have an offense to put some points and put some drives together, but now our defense is just atrocious, man. We're allowing the most points allowed in the league. I think like 33. I don't think any other team's allowing 30. So it's rough to kind of be on the backside of it, but I definitely want to see some things happen. We no longer have, because of injuries, we no longer have the personnel to run a 3-4. I'd really love to see us go back to the 4-3 that made our defense so phenomenal for the last 9 years anyway. You know what I mean? Like we've always kind of run a 4-3. You got to have some really, really big, strong boys to run a 3-4. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we're built for that. So I would love for our defensive coordinator to I don't want to lose his job just yet because we do look really, really bad. But Everill's got to get it together, man. He's got to we got to switch some things up if we want to be, if we can score, we got to get some stops too. But aside from that, man, it's kind of crazy to say that because all the favorites won. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think I saw any big games. Ravens, Washington, fun. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I still love the way this Washington team is built. I think they went out and they did a lot in the offseason. I talk about all years, them having, to me, the best offseason. But that's about it for me, man. What about you?
Yeah, same. I like that you called out that Broncos game because I was actually banking on the Broncos for once. I was like, they're underdogs. They should be playing well. But the Chargers coming off of a bye week really looked better. Both of those teams, like you said, looked more what we expected to see preseason versus what we saw so far this year. I think, though, definitely the Panthers, giving up that many points, it sucks. Even in the Raiders game they won, they still gave up 22 points. So definitely figuring that out. But it's hard because we see this, and we've seen this with our teams in the past. As soon as one side of the ball gets right, the side that has been dragging them along, the other side catches up, and then it goes out of balance again. And it's pretty crazy that always happens, but it's like they just can't ever get it going, clicking both sides at the same time, which you think would make things work. Anthony West says, "What is Jacksonville doing? A whole lot of nothing." Yeah,
that's the problem. They're doing nothing.
They didn't even get their little London bump that they usually get. They do play the Patriots there next week, so I think they'll get a win there. But Jacksonville they have playmakers. They have that young Brian Thomas Jr. He's dope. They got Tank Bigsby that's kind of emerging now. They might even trade Etienne. So they have pieces, but I don't know what the deal is with them.
I feel like they shouldn't. I mean, they lost some pieces on the defense, but like offensively, they didn't really lose much. But I really think that they should have kept Ridley. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know they paid Christian Kirk. You know what I mean? But I feel like when you really go back and look at like who's the better receiver, Ridley's always been better. You know what I'm saying? Christian Kirk's never been better than Calvin Ridley, man. So I feel like that really messed him up too. I have no idea where the decision process was behind letting him go and keeping Christian Kirk, especially because Christian Kirk can't stay healthy.
True. And it's funny that I think both Ridley and the Jaguars would be happier because Ridley was pissed off. He didn't get any catches in their game for the Titans this week. So I think both parties were looking back on that with regret.
Ridley's had, I think, 3 games now where he's had like one to 0 to 1 catch, like 3 games. It's half the games you have 1 catch or none. That's crazy. It's bad.
And they signed him to be that star over there. But I guess he enjoyed the paycheck because you knew you were going to a worse situation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As far as quarterback wise, at the very least. So he went for the money. He's got to deal with that now.
I know
that is kind of rough. I like the Ravens Commanders as well. I still think the Commanders are doing really well. Dan Quinn has a great effect on his guys, especially like the first year. Like even when he came to the Cowboys, he got everybody fresh, innovative, doing different things. Like you said, they made a lot of great acquisitions, a lot of good hires. Mm-hmm. So they're in a great spot to make a run in the NFC East. That's looking pretty average, at best. And speaking of the NFC East, I got to talk to about the Cowboys. And definitely embarrassing, but like you talked about on Secure the Bag, like when we went into the weekend, we're kind of, knowing that they were a little outmatched in this game based on where the Lions are at, the Lions coming off of a bye, the way they scheme things, the way they run the ball, and the way our defense was.
Yeah, everything about that game had blowout potential.
Exactly, it did. And, I just expected our offense to do a little bit more to keep us in the game, but once you get off track early and when you get down 10, 13, 20 in the first quarter, first half, it puts you in a mode where you can't really do anything other than throw the ball. And Dak was under so much pressure, man. They were like sitting in his lap the whole game. So that was rough, definitely rough, but I'm not like a big overreactor. Like I know everybody likes to, dump the Cowboys and poo-poo on them. And, like ESPN, Stephen A, they love to troll the Cowboys, but it comes along with it. But this isn't anything too surprising. I think what's really going to tell it, though, is how they come out after the bye week. They have the bye week right now, but they have to play San Francisco on the other end of it. So that's not an easy task, but how do you manage yourself? How do you recollect yourself? We've seen teams in way worse positions kind of turning around. Right now they're 3-3. The NFC East isn't really dominant. So you can, and they still have 5 division games left. They're 1-0 in the division. They still have 5 division games left. So you can muster up the courage to win those games. You can still find yourself in the playoffs by just being a division winner. So I don't think all is lost. The Cowboys have 1 or 2 of these games in them every year where they just kind of get like outmatched, blown out, just landslided. I hope this one and the Ravens were the last ones so far. We'll see though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll see. But
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do agree with Anthony's comment too. They need to develop a running game. I think that's where the deficiencies that we knew in the offseason. Like they didn't go out and do this, so they needed like the perfect storm. But they were gonna have to rely on their playmakers. They were have to rely on Dak and CD to do a lot in the passing game to kind of make up for the fact that they didn't have a running game. When you're that out of balance, and teams know, Strizzy, you've been saying this all year, double team CD. Their really only option other than that on offense is Jake Ferguson, which he's pretty dope, but he can only do so much across the middle.
Sure. It's hard to make your tight end your number one option when they're not Travis Kelce or, Kittle. Because Ferguson's nice. I really like. He's what you want as a tight end. He does both. He blocks and catches very well. But again, he's not the Kittle receiving tight end. You know what I'm saying?
He's like a true tight end. Do both
exactly.
Guy, but he's
Mark Andrews type. He's a Mark Andrews type.
Yeah. That's a great comp. So, it's tough when they're all around CD. They know what he's doing. They're double teaming him. And it's not a lot of other guys stepping up so far. But I like also what Anthony said. They don't seem very physical. So any physical team they play manhandles them. That's definitely true. They wait to get punched in the mouth and they stagger back like, dang, what are we going to do? They don't go out there and be like, we're going to bring the fight to this team, especially a team like the Lions with a coach like Dan Campbell. Yeah. And it was looking like the secondary, except for I think Malik Hooker's the only one, but it was looking like the secondary really wasn't trying to hit. Diggs wasn't trying to tackle at all. When you get in a game like that and they're running the ball and they already have a 20-point lead, 13-point lead, it's gonna be a long, long day. So that's what we saw, but I hope to see better from them after the bye week. It'll be nice to get a little bit of a break from it this week, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think the 49ers aren't as strong as they've been the last 2 years, especially with missing CMC and some other characters. So I feel like if there was ever a chance for y'all to beat the 49ers, man, it's going to be out of your bye. You know what I'm saying? So like, hopefully they come back. It kind of sucks, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at some of the stuff that Jerry Jones didn't do in the offseason, You know what I'm saying? And it's really coming back to really bite you on the butt. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this division is still up to grabs, but when I look at it, I just feel like if they could keep it going, I think Commanders win it. I don't like the Eagles look deflated too for some reason. They've got a bunch
of the Browns.
Yeah, exactly. They just I don't know, for some reason they look really bad too. Not bad. It's weird because like them bad and the Cowboys bad is 500. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's still a positive thing to say when it's like, dang, we don't look our greatest, but we're still 3-3. You know what I mean? But I feel like when you look at these teams, if somehow Commanders can just get a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, man, I just feel like it's their division to lose right now. They're playing so well. Daniels does not look like a rookie, but I do feel like the way that they're playing, if they don't get that kind of that spurt to kind of be like, okay, we're riding the ship now, like it could really be like NFC East. The only team that makes it into the playoffs is the division winner. You know what I mean? And they're still close. I think Washington's in the lead right now, or maybe the Eagles, but it's only about a game.
I think Washington is in the lead by a game. They're 4-2. Everybody else is 3-3, basically.
Yeah, so that's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like that's still a good place to be. Like you are not out of it at all. But like I don't know, man. I think the thing that always kills me, that I always talk about with Dak, is like he's a great quarterback, or I'll say a good quarterback. But I feel like he just doesn't have that, like you said, like that dog in him. Like he doesn't have that. Like you look at the sidelines and his head's just down and his eyes wide. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you thinking, dog? Like you got to get back in there. Like you got to go back in there with some confidence and believe you can win. Even if you're too far down, give the offense something to look forward to. Like catch up a little bit. Like try not to focus on the interception or what could have been 3 or 4 interceptions. You know what I mean? Like whatever the case may be, I just feel like sometimes like Dak gets into his own head a little bit, and sometimes that's what stops him from like truly being as great as he could be. You know what I'm saying? But it is difficult, man. Like, I think he trusts CD, he trusts Ferguson, and if they're double teaming those guys or they're double teaming CD, and
he's still throwing it in there a lot of times too. Like,
for sure.
There's a lot of tight window throws. Like, and that's the thing.
You got to.
Yeah. No, you definitely do. And I agree with you. Like, it's tough to see him on the sideline and he's looking in his iPad like he's going to find, like, the secrets of life in there. Like, he's like, where is it? Like, what am I missing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's like deep in trance, like, dang. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, like, people do throw a lot of dirt on his name, but there's not a lot of quarterbacks I would trade him out for at where he's at. You know what I'm saying?
I'd kill for him right now. You know
exactly.
As a Panther fan, dog, I'd kill for it right now. Like,
and like where they're at, the weapons he has some top end weapons, but he doesn't have choices. He doesn't have that running game, and he doesn't have a coach that's like really innovative. Like if you switch them, like Jared Goff, like his throws, like if you watch that game or you watch just even this season, wide open guys streaming across the field, wide open guys. He went 18 for 18 last week, where it's like, and most of those throws were just open receivers in rhythm. They have it spread out for him, where it's like, you think Dak couldn't do that? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
But it's
really
tough.
Missing. I think what they're really missing for me is it's crazy to think, but like, I like Kellen Moore, man. Let me rephrase that. Kellen Moore is a really, really good running offensive type coordinator.
Right, which is crazy because you only see the big plays, but it's because he can develop that running game.
Exactly, and I think that's what you guys have been missing since you let him go. You've had zero run game. Like you guys went for, like, Tony Pollard went from being like, oh man, we can let go of Zeke because Pollard's the bomb. But you also let go of Kellen Moore the following year.
Yeah.
And that's when Pollard fell off, and then you guys felt that you could let him go too, and he dips off and he goes to the Titans as well, and it's just been kind of non-existent. And if you don't have a ground game to open things up, all they're gonna do is just exactly. Yeah. If we can still get to the quarterback and double team their best receivers,
what are you gonna do?
Literally, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, you're right, dude. Like they need something on offense they need some creativity. You know what I mean? They need to get these guys open, you know what I mean? And CD is good enough to get himself open, but it'd be kind of nice if there are some plays that were ran where he's just open.
Give him an easy, you know what
I'm saying? Like, I saw something. I know he's had like a 98-yard game, but I saw that he hasn't had a 100-yard game yet this season, and that's crazy.
Well, and it was funny actually. There was a stat where it showed their first 5 games of this year and last year, and his stats are almost dead even.
Yeah.
And like I almost forgot that he kind of started out the same way last year, where it's like frustrated, why can't I get the ball? And then all of a sudden in November we had some easier opponents, and he was having some 12 catch games, some really beastly games. So maybe that's coming, but I think that we're past that now because we don't have like those other guys to open it up for him. So it's tough. It's tough, but we'll definitely see what they do after the bye week. I like this. Anthony Weston saying Chiefs playing San Francisco. Kelly joining the show. Happy Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's definitely not ready for the game after Aunt asked her. But it should be a good one, actually. I like the rematches, and I know that teams go out a little extra for these games, you know.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are coming off of a bye week, too. Did San Francisco play this last week? I don't think they did.
No, I think they came on a bye week.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting for sure. But we'll see. The news about the wide receivers, though, I did want to go through really quickly, too.
Oh, yeah.
We had Amari Cooper going to the Bills, which I think was a total steal and could be like a sneaky, low-key, great thing. And then Devontae Adams going to the Jets. Tell me your thoughts on each of those trades real quick as far as the wide receiver movement.
Oh, for sure. I'll start off with Cooper. I think it's a big steal. I think that's huge for the Bills. Obviously, Josh Allen has always been really phenomenal about getting everybody involved, which is why Diggs didn't like being there because he likes to be the number one guy and he just couldn't handle it. But I love that Josh Allen's able to get everybody involved, tight ends, receivers, and running backs. And so you get a guy like Amari Cooper, who honestly has been a kind of a number one receiver, especially when he's had a really good quarterback put behind him. And it doesn't get much better than Josh Allen in this league. You know what I mean? Like him or hate him, he's top notch. He's one of the highest paid, and he's proven it. You know what I'm saying, over the last couple of years. Only team standing in his way of having a championship is the Chiefs, and he's a champion without him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's huge for Cooper. I love that move, especially for what they gave for him. You know what I mean, or got for him. Like I think when you guys let him go, I think you got a 5th round for him.
We gave him up for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got from or I can't remember what it was. It was something else, but it was just something crazy. It's like you guys let him go for like half the price.
Right. And it was basically because we wanted out of that contract. We're like, if you take the contract, we'll take nothing in return.
That's true. That's what it was. I forgot about his contract.
And this time
that's huge for the Bills.
Yeah.
And then secondly, it's funny, man. I think this last weekend really proved that Salah was not the problem with the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't see Devontae Adams being the savior for them, even though like that's where he wants to be. Number one, he's not the best blocking. He's not the best blocking receiver because he's so offensive minded. And they like to run the ball a lot. They always have. Yeah. They probably run the ball a little less now that they have Aaron Rodgers at the helm. But like, dog, Rodgers just look good, man. He's like, I keep talking about his age and the way he looks. Like, if he keeps getting hit as often as he's getting hit and hard, he's not going to make it. Right. He is not going to make the rest of this season, man, if he keeps getting hit the way he's getting hit. Every time he gets up, it's slower and slower. And having Adams there is just not going to matter if they don't have Rodgers throwing the ball. So I don't really know what their plan is. It's funny to go and pick him up for a team that I still don't think is going to make the playoffs. I don't think they have any chance at winning the division. Coaching wise, again, I don't think firing their coach was the best thing to do midseason. And I don't know, this division to me is still the Bills division, man, and kind of proved so last night. They went to a hostile place in New York and still got the dub. Yeah. And I don't know, man. I just don't think it's going to do much. I don't think it's going to do much for them. I don't think it's going to do for them what they think it is. Right. I think it's going to be exactly the same. I think they win 8 games this year.
I agree with you so much, man. I think that the Jets, like you said, last night kind of proved where they're at, and Adams isn't the one that's going to take them over the top because his production replaces somebody else's. You got Garrett Wilson there already. You got a strong running game. You have Mike Williams, who hasn't really panned out, but they weren't even getting him looks really. So it's like it's not like you're going to all of a sudden have more footballs to throw around, you know? I think for Adams, though, it's really curious to me. Like, I know that was like a preferred thing, and I'm sure behind the scenes he approved the trade, even though he didn't really have a choice where he got traded to. But why does he want to go back to that? Like, the Jets are a mess. Like he has a chance to maybe go some other places, but I think that it's just crazy to me that he he only wanted to really play with Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers. You know?
Yeah, man. I wanted to piggyback a little bit off what you said and what Anthony said. I completely agree. Of all the places you wanted to go, like what makes just because you want to play with someone who you played with before is crazy. Because let's be realistic. For the same price, you could have been in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Like for the same price, you could have been in Buffalo. The one they got Amari Cooper. So like for me, I'm just like, why with Aaron Rodgers, the offense does not look great. There's definitely a lot of issues there. Aaron Rodgers is 40, dog. Like this just it doesn't make any sense to me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, they lost to Jimmy G twice with both of them in Green Bay. I think Aaron's attitude is when things go wrong to play the team. And that's what kind of pisses me off about Aaron Rodgers. When something's his fault, it's everybody else's. This man never takes responsibility for his actions. They're also talking about they literally just said too that Mike Williams is now up for trade as well, which is crazy to me because what? You threw an underthrown ball and it got intercepted and that's Mike Williams' fault?
Well, then Aaron Rodgers came out and said that after the game, like the only reason I threw that is because he ran the wrong route. And then like the next day they trade for Adams and Mike Williams is apparently on the trading block. Yeah. That's crazy.
So like, I don't know, man. And honestly, I call BS. I call BS because if he ran the wrong route, why'd you throw it his way? Why'd you throw it his direction? Like you're going through your reads. He runs the wrong route. Come on, dog. Like, you know off top, if he's running the wrong route, he's running the wrong route. You're going to know that pretty much almost right away. So I just think he does not have the arm he used to have. I swear he underthrew him, and all of a sudden it's Mike Williams' fault. So,
and as a leader, you can still step up there and say, we got to get on the same page, other thing. But you just throw your guy under the bus. Like
exactly. Mike Williams isn't back for 2 games. He missed the first 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even then it's like, come on, bro. Like you said, just be a leader. Just get in the back. Yeah, we got to get on the same page. We haven't had a lot of time to work with me and Mike, which is why you don't see him in a high percentage of the plays anyway. We just gotta be, even him. What is so wrong with you saying I gotta be better too? I missed a lot of throws tonight. You know what I mean? Like he just never takes responsibility for the things that he says, and it kills me every time, man. Like even his look when his receivers don't get the ball or he overthrows them, and he's looking at them like he's pissed. That's so crazy, dog. Like can't stand Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like
yeah. No, I like what Anthony Weston said here, too. He said he rolls his eyes 1,000 times a game, goes on Pat McAfee and throws people under the bus. Talented guy, but no leadership.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it like that. And I do want to welcome Moms to the show as well. Welcome in.
Moms?
And then also Unc. I threw him up there earlier, but I don't think we got a chance to shout him out as well. So for joining the show. And I definitely agree, though, getting to the other trade. Anthony West said Cooper is more dangerous than Adams. I agree with that. Amari Cooper is like a very humble professional. He's always in the right place. He always knows what's going on. And to get him for that price was kind of a steal. And the Browns basically converted a lot of his remaining salary into a signing bonus. So the Bills get him for the cheap too on the contract side and on what they gave up. So that was pretty legit. I know the Browns are the Browns right now, back to the original doo-doo Browns. Yep. So I know Amari Cooper is going to be happy to get out of there. And that gives Josh Allen a guy he can really rely on. Like that's kind of slick with it, but like low key, like doesn't get a lot of attention,
Oh, exactly. But he's definitely a very, very good receiver. And it's kind of funny talking about the Browns. I think the Browns are trying to blow it up a little bit, especially getting rid of your best guy on the receiver side of the ball. But I would have loved for them to give Jameis a chance this past weekend while they still had Cooper. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been really nice. I honestly, man, I think he turns that offense around. Even now, even without Cooper, I think Jameis still turns this offense around. It seems like Watson has completely forgotten, like I said last week, to play football. And if they're breaking it up, man, I would love to see Myles Garrett's beastly talents not go wasted. He's not old, but he's still an absolute monster. I'd love to see him go somewhere. And if same thing for the Raiders, man. If they're talking about blowing it up too, I'd love to see Max Crosby go somewhere else too. Yeah. I'd actually like Max Crosby. I'd like to see him as a commander. They lost 2 defensive ends and their starter nose tackle for the rest of the season from a pec injury. So I'd love to see them go after somebody like Max Crosby on the defensive side of the ball, so they can kind of build off him for defense. He's only 27, so
that would be dope.
That'd be huge for both of those guys. Yeah, man. If I'm both of those dudes, like I'm ready to go play for a contender. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've made some good money. I signed some big contracts. I want to at least compete for a Super Bowl once or twice during my career, you know what I'm saying? And neither one of those guys have been able to do that. So too much talent going a little bit wasted. So I'd love to see both of those guys on the fifth side ball go somewhere else. Even the
For
Lions
sure.
going to be out without Hutchinson. It'd be dope if
True.
the Lions went after one of those guys too.
Yeah, and that was a nasty injury on the same field where Dak had his similar compound fracture. So that was
I didn't even see this, and we're on the same page, bro.
Yeah, Crosby to the Lions. You never know because that will maybe potentially impact their pass rush, even though they got a lot of guys on that defense. Like obviously Hutchinson is that top guy. So
oh yeah, but could you imagine both of them on both sides next season? I think Hutchinson's out 6 to 8 weeks, something like that.
They love their WBs too. So hey,
that'd be crazy.
Hutchinson is out for the rest of the year. There ain't no way he can be able to
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just want to catch up on some of these comments before we move on to the next topic, though. Pop said Chiefs won't pay top dollar for a wide receiver because they have the Mahomes. I so totally agree with that.
Yeah, same.
Valdez Scantling was cut to make room for the trades today. So Anthony foresees him coming back to the Chiefs, which I could definitely see that.
Same.
They love their guys that already know the playbook. I feel like Andy Reid is just so stuck on his playbook. And he's like, if you can't run everything, we don't want to put you out there. He doesn't put guys out there if they just know a small percentage of it. So I think that's why they do the retread a lot there. I want to welcome Earth to the show. What's good, Earth? Welcome back in. And we appreciate you joining us. Anthony Weston said Watson cap hit is 170 million next 3 seasons, all guaranteed. So basically, we won't see a new quarterback until 2026 for the Browns, or at least 2025 when they can really get out of that last year where they can kind of spread out that cap hit. So, Unc says so. Not liking Aaron Rodgers anymore.
Never did. Never did. Like he just never liked it, man.
Yeah, for sure. Not even in any of his darkness retreats or any of this stuff could really bring him back for us. So, but I know Unc had a ban on speaking about Aaron Rodgers for a while last week or last year. We might have to reinstitute it depending on how things go. So that's what's up,
man. It's just attitude. So much talent, but the attitude kills it for me, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, but that's NFL talk. We will be doing our Secure the Bag picks on Thursday afternoon, where we can pick all of the Week 7 games already into Week 7. So we're approaching that halfway mark. Let us know what you guys are thinking on that show, and make sure you get your Yahoo picks in. And again, shout out to Franklin and shout out to Pops for going undefeated this week. And Franklin with the tie. That's what's up. Or with the tiebreaker. All right, let's move on to our next topic. All right, NBA talk. Preseason continues. Nothing too crazy going on, but we are 1 week away from tip-off. So we'll have to figure out something special to do next Tuesday. So I definitely want to check out some of that Lakers game if possible. And I think it's going to be starting around the same time as our show. So might change things up, might do a SLAC Express, but I guess that's the great thing about having your own show, right, Strizzy? We can do whatever we want.
Thanks, man. But I don't know if you saw this, man, but Paul George injury already.
And Embiid too.
I know, that's wild, man. It's crazy. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. Definitely rough for them, bro. Start of the season. Hopefully they get right, because I was really hoping to see them together, because it seemed like it'd be it seemed like a fun tandem. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the young point guard they got too. So that's wild. Yeah,
it sucks that his status for the season opener is uncertain already. He has a bone bruise. At first they said he hyperextended his knees, but I guess that's what caused it, right?
Yeah. I saw the hyperextension. It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, Embiid out too, but Embiid should be good. They just ruled him out for the rest of the preseason. He has an injury, and they say a knee injury. They're still talking about he might not play in back-to-backs, which he doesn't really anyways over the past. But it's just interesting to me. I definitely want to note it because he talked about all offseason, especially after they came back from the Olympics, like, I'm going to get in shape. I'm down 25 pounds. Whatever I have to do to be available for the Sixers, I'm all in. And, we're already starting with this stuff. So, yeah, that's tough. Anthony Weston says training staff is going to be working OT. So, the other NBA stuff, though, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a little bit of chirping from DiVincenzo to the New York Knicks bench during their preseason game. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. Okay, so what was your comments or what were your thoughts on that? DiVincenzo, obviously, we thought like, oh, he's going to be one of the Villanova boys. Just got traded to the Timberwolves in the Randall and Cat swap. And now it looks like there's a little bit of bad blood. Do you think that is part of why the trade happened, or do you think that since the trade he's salty?
Nah, I think he's just a little hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he was excited. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are in. They have a little podcast that they do. It's like, it's him. It's Josh Hart. It's oh man, I'm forgetting those point guard's name.
Brunson.
Yeah, Brunson. Dang, I want to say something else. Yeah, Brunson as well. So if these guys get together and they're talking all the time, you know what I'm saying? So I think he was just excited to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's the Villanova boys, you know what I mean? And I think the trade caught him off guard. You know what I mean? I think so. I think he's just upset. I think he's just hurt. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he plays against him a little bit. So he's gonna go off and say what he wants to say. He's chirping at them for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, I think he's just a little hurt that he's no longer a part of the team he really wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, I feel that. I like to see it though. I like to see people getting a little bit more in the mix instead of being so buddy after the games and you know what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure.
I like to taking pictures. I get it's a brotherhood, but I like the feistiness, like and we're the same way. Like I feel like over time, obviously we're not at that level, but when we play with people or we play against each other, or if I'm going against my family, when you get that competitive juices going. You don't care. You want to win, so you don't have to be nice. You know what I'm saying all the time. So
that's facts. I have buddies, brothers who I've been playing basketball since they were kids. If we're on different teams, you know what I'm saying. When the picks happen, we ain't cool until someone hits 15. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm totally with it, man. I think that's a good point, man. They didn't send you to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like they sent you to a championship contending team.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Western Conference Finals last year, so
for real, and a really good shot at going back with the squad that they got. I love Julius Randle, man. I think Julius Randle is more the player that Minnesota needs than Cat. He's a dog. He's going to go in there, grab rebounds. He's going to be a lot more abusive down low. You know what I mean? Than what Cat is. So I think Randle fits that team so well.
I agree with that totally. The only thing I kind of worry about is the spacing, like. Because Cat did give them a lot of space and gave Edwards a lot of space, but they should be able to figure that out pretty quickly. I definitely think Randle. I love Randle since baby Lakers, and I've always been a big fan of him. Yeah, man, me too. And it's funny, Randle doesn't shoot threes the way Cat does. Like he ain't gonna shoot 8 or 9 of them a game, but Randle hits 2 to 3 a game. Yeah, so he does have that. He does have that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is well within his arsenal, and I know because I bet on it a lot last season. And that
props are low.
That bought so I think he's going to be. I think he will separate them better. And then you also keep in mind too that DiVincenzo is a sharpshooter. Yeah. So like you lose that separation with Cat because Cat brings the big boys out to the 3-point line, but I think you still got to be careful because Randle does too.
Yeah. No, I agree. Pop says DiVincenzo's just frustrated. He got kicked out of the club. Right. I think you guys are both right on that. Anthony Weston says Ben Simmons look good. Yeah. I love it, man. I still think you know me, man. You know me. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
love him. I think he can do everything on the court. Obviously not anymore, but as he started his career, like he's really like I don't obviously not how it's panned out, but he's low key like a Magic Johnson type, like without a shot. But he can do everything. He can score. He's a big point guard. Yeah. And it's really dope to see him still hanging around, man. Still cashing checks. Speaking of that too, Lonzo Ball, he's actually expected to return for a preseason game. He hasn't played for like a year and a half, 2 years almost.
Yeah.
So I would love to see him to be able to come back and play again. Another guy that I've been rooting for since the beginning, but his knee, they just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But I definitely I'm rooting for him too. So over under 4 for Julius Randle. 3 points.
I think it's an over under 4 3-point attempts for is he wait for Julius Randle or Ben Simmons?
I think he's saying Julius Randle. I think from earlier. I don't know.
Over under 4 3-point attempts for the season. Attempts? I'm gonna say over.
Got you. Yeah.
I'm gonna say over.
He'll have the green
attempts,
light.
Not makes, but definitely attempts.
Yeah. I like it. I think he'll have the opportunity too.
Oh yeah.
He said Ben for the season. Under.
But even in the game, because he had like 11 points in that game, which is with the game that Anthony's talking about. But they were still layups. Those were still drives to the basket, and catching
You don't
dudes
shoot
off
from
balance.
further than the free throw line ever.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they were all close range. You know what I'm saying? But
Got you, yeah.
But I do like it though, because my whole thing with Ben is just his health. Like his health worries me. It's not so much about him being able to score, because he can score.
Yeah.
As long as it's close, obviously he's not going to shoot the ball, but
he can impact the game regardless.
Exactly, he can impact the game very, very well for this team. And I think right now on this team, the way they're built or the way they're set up, I feel like there's no real expectation for him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like the expectations from when he first got there are no longer there. You know, everyone's gone. Tyree, KD, they're all those guys are gone. There's a bunch of young kids right now.
For sure. No, for sure. Yeah, Brooklyn doesn't have really much of anybody, like you said, all young kids.
Yep.
Which is still kind of dope, man, because you just see some guys kind of come up and that's kind of the way different players get known, is getting that chance,
Yeah.
But I think they got Cam Johnson still. He's gonna be number one.
Cam Johnson gonna be taking a crazy amount of threes this season. He's gonna be shooting them up.
Yeah, and they do have Shake Milton. I think that was from the Sixers, man. He never got his full chance, but we'll see. I think that's it for basketball, though. Again, the season tips off next week. That'll be very exciting. Baseball, really quickly, we're down to the final two series. We're down to the championship series in the NL and the AL. We got the Yankees up 1-0 on the Indians, and they're looking to go up 2-0 tonight. That game is in progress. They're up 3-2. And then the Mets and the Dodgers are tied at 1-1, which that was an exciting series already. The Dodgers had like 3 games of scoreless pitching, which was great, but we knew that was going to change. The floodgates opened a little bit more yesterday for the Mets, so we got an exciting one. But, I mean, I'm looking at either Yankees-Mets or Yankees-Dodgers. That's really dope, man. That's blockbuster for baseball.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Either way.
Just as long as the Guardians don't mess it up.
I know. That's real. That would be big time. It's crazy because, like, never been a Dodger fan, never been a Yankee fan, but, like, man, I just feel like Shohei's just one of those guys that needs one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be so unfortunate if he goes his whole career and doesn't get one. But
well, this is his first time even in the playoffs.
I know.
So, that's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy to think about. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, of the teams that are still in it right now, I think I'm on my boy to go get one.
I don't think he has had though that like breakout playoff game yet. Really,
not yet.
Like, I mean, he's been solid.
Yeah,
he's still been impactful because you got to pitch around him and you got to worry about him. But he hasn't even had that like classic moment yet that I think he's gonna have. So we'll see. Oh, what's good, August? August joining the show as well. Got the emojis on there. What's good? Thanks for joining, buddy. We appreciate you. And shout out to August. He's participated in his first cross country meet this last weekend. So
that's dope. Good for him, man.
So do your thing, man. That was awesome. Looked like a lot of kids out there.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Find your way. Exactly. Leave them in the dust, man. Use your supersonic speed. So that's what's up. But yeah, that's where we're at for baseball. I think there's not really too much other news other than hockey started last week. Yeah. And the Avalanche still haven't won a game. They're like 0-3, which is crazy.
Hey, that's well.
I'm like, man, they were bad in the preseason. I was like, okay, let me chill. It's just preseason. Like, it's
right.
now they're coming out in the regular season looking like trash. So hopefully they can get together, man, before too long. But they just don't have any goalkeeping, giving up 6 or 7 goals in each game. At least I think it was like six something, and then 8 something. So they have no goalkeeping, which was their problem last year too. So bet the over in their games.
Facts.
I think though we're pretty good. We're pretty solid. I don't know if there was any other sports stories you wanted to talk about. I think we got most of the NFL transactions covered as well, but I think there will be some more coming up over the couple. I think the trade deadline's in 2 weeks, so maybe we'll see some more trades. But other than that, man, I think we're good. Anthony West says feels like we just watched the Stanley Cup for real. It does. This year definitely flew by. Oh, and Kelly said 26th place out of 14 other schools. That's what's up. Go Augie. That's awesome.
Actually really, really good.
There was like so many kids. So out of 14 other schools, that's what's up. 26th place. Great
Yeah,
job,
crazy.
Augie. Keep up the great work
Heck
on
yeah.
cross country. Anthony said, "How about Jerry flipping out on the radio?" I like that. If you didn't hear that, I think you should go check it out. I think it reminds us of his age, right? He's 82. He turned 82 actually on Sunday for that Lions game. That was the present from the
Yeah, that's
players.
right.
But today, I think it was earlier today, he went on the radio, kind of got a little defensive, but I kind of like it, man. He showed his crotchetiness, and he's like, "Yo, we don't have time to go over every single decision I made or didn't make, whether it's right or wrong." Like, and like he kind of got a little bit. Well, the funny thing was though, he also said like, "That's not your job." He's like, and if we need to find somebody else to ask the right questions, we can do that. Kind of threatening him, and I'm like, he probably owns that radio station and that radio program too. Like,
Real.
he's like, "I'll get everybody fired."
Bro, fired
on here.
as of now. He's gone.
He's like, "We'll get a new radio host." You know what I'm saying? We know these guys, Strizzy and A-Dub. You know what I'm saying? We can get them to come through.
Not even a Cowboy fan. I'll ask all the right questions. I'll be
my
like,
God.
Hey, Mr. Jones, what do you think? What do you think the refs could have done less of to help the Lions cheat last Sunday? You know what I'm saying? Which obviously gave y'all a loss because we both know on any other given day y'all smashing the Lions.
Exactly.
Exactly. Paychecks. It's nothing to me. Yeah.
Whatever you want to hear, Jerry, Mr. Jones. You know,
Mr. Jones.
For sure. We got you covered. Mom says college football. Yes, let's talk about college football real quick. Texas, Georgia this week. Man, this is a tough one for my boys. We talked about it. Probably nobody's going to go undefeated. Oregon beat Ohio State last week. But Oregon has shown their flaw. That was a great game, a close game. I'm liking these super conferences, but we have to think, that's going to be the consequences when you got so many good teams merging, and you got the Big Ten is now basically the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. You got the SEC that took over half of the Big 12. You're going to have a lot of teams that are having multiple losses because the schedules are not friendly anymore.
For sure.
It's not like you got that one test. Now you got 3, 4, or 5 tests to get through this year. So I think that it's going to be a great game, Texas and Georgia. But I think Texas is the only team that has consistently played well. And there's not been a game this year we can look at and say, oh, that was sketchy. Like,
I called it last week too, when I was like, they're gonna beat the brakes off Oklahoma. Oklahoma's just offensively, they're just not ready, and that definitely showed.
Yeah, that could have been worse even. And it's crazy though, because you're right. Oklahoma just has no offense. They have a decent defense, but the defense can't be on the field for 80% of the time. Every time the Oklahoma got the ball, they were going basically 3 and out. So
we need a new coach. I hate to say it, but the coach was, to me, I was like skeptical because I was like, okay, finally we got a defensive-minded coach. We've been so offensive-minded for so many years with, Lincoln Riley after Bob Stoops, and just kind of felt like, we're undefeated or, one loss every year. Then as soon as we play, Bama or Georgia, in the playoff, we got our butts handed to us because, we just can't hang defensively. And I feel like defensively, he just hasn't been as good as I would have hoped he would have been too these last couple of years. And right now, we have no identity. We have, we're not top offensively. We're not super top defensively, and we got to figure something out. And I just feel like, I don't know, defensive coordinator may not be the right job for the school or program that Oklahoma is. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Not when you're coming off of Lincoln Riley days, right? Where you're used to having a Heisman quarterback and scoring 40 points a game.
Easy, yeah.
It was easier to play defense when you have that offense backing you up or putting you ahead.
Exactly.
Now it's really tough.
That's offensive. Feel me?
Anthony West said, heard they're doing a Big Ten SEC challenge in football like they do basketball. They are working that out, but the Big Ten is actually kind of pressing the SEC because the Big Ten, they play a 9-game conference schedule already. The SEC only plays 8.
Yeah.
So they're saying if we do this, you guys need to start playing a 9-game conference schedule so that we're on a better even playing field because the Big Ten's like we're playing more games against our own conference. We don't have as many patsies, and now we're going to add an SEC team on top of that.
Yeah.
We all need to be kind of at our same level. So I'm hoping that they can work that out because if they do, that'll be gangster, and you basically have a Big Ten SEC game on every schedule on either side each year. So every year, Georgia and the SEC is going to have one Big Ten team that they'll have to play against early in the year. It's kind of gangster. They're basically already making it like divisions. Like they're just like, let's go ahead and just take over college football.
No, facts.
They're like, we can play our preseason. Our first 2 games will be the preseason. You can pick anybody you want. Go down and find whatever technical, agricultural, whatever school you find.
Right.
Then you're going to play against the other division that's the best, which is the Big Ten of the SEC, and then you're going to have to go through your own schedule. I think that'll be pretty gangster.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, so we'll see, but they're definitely taking over on that one. But yeah,
Bama
Georgia
got busted up again too.
What's that?
Bama got busted up again.
Oh yeah, Bama almost lost to South Carolina, which is pretty crazy. If they were to lose, to I don't know, they have a little bit of a tough schedule, and their secondary is suspect, and their offense is boom or bust. So we'll see how they get through the rest of their schedule. But yeah, they escaped with a 2-point victory over South Carolina. They still have to play Tennessee, Missouri, LSU. I think they play Oklahoma and Auburn too. So they have a pretty tough schedule left. But everybody in the SEC kind of has a nasty schedule, except for Texas. They kind of lucked out actually this year.
Yeah.
They don't have to play Alabama. They have to play Georgia, which is the biggest test.
Biggest test for sure.
But they don't really have like one of those other top teams on their schedule like the way Georgia or Alabama is. No, they don't.
I know.
Let me go look up theirs real quick because I'm like I know they didn't play anybody crazy. They did play Michigan at the beginning of the year. That was a great setup for their schedule. This is their SEC slate is Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. So that's tough still because it's SEC, but they avoided most of the big dogs except for Georgia. That's why we have to handle business this week. We have to play a great game. We have to put them down, hopefully. So
yeah,
we'll see.
A lot of those teams aren't what they used to be. Kentucky's looking pretty good though. I mean, like
they have a good defense.
Yeah, the defense is pretty nasty. So they got to get through that. But like you said, it's just not not all the big dogs. You know what I mean?
That's why Georgia. Yeah, if Georgia can put that loss on their schedule this week, that would be dope.
Yeah. And it's still not even gonna hurt them. Even if they lose, it doesn't hurt them much because their only loss, Georgia, that's
right.
Fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Anthony said it'd be wild if they lost to Vandy. Man, Vandy has like a big game recipe, so you never know. That would be dope. Pop says Jazgis just got picked off at second base, acted like an unprofessional jerk in the playoffs. No longer a fan of his. Man, anytime he gets he is acting a little bit bigger for his britches now that he's wearing Yankees pinstripes.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But we'll have to go do a deep dive on him. But either way, I think we're going to be seeing him in the World Series, so we're going to have to get used to it. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, I think we did great, though.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Thanks, Moms, for calling out the college football. We almost forgot about that. But lots of great comments, lots of great contributions from our Slackers. We appreciate you all, as always. We'll be back Thursday for another edition of Secure the Bag. And we'll be back next week in some form or fashion for NBA Countdown, man, our own version. Is this year the last year of TNT, guys?
I think so. Yeah. So far.
Okay. Because they haven't figured it out yet, but at least this is gonna be the last year of TNT, guys. So that'll be cool to see too. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do a little bit differently. But that's what it is, man. We'll go ahead and get up out of here. We have a rant from Pops that we were gonna play, but we want to get Marcus's reaction to that too. So since he's not with us today, and it's going to be timely, it'll still be appropriate. It'll be even perfect for next week NBA style. So we're gonna save that. We're gonna play that next week. But also, I want you guys to know how Pops has kind of sent in messages. You can leave a voicemail on our phones, and we can play. If you guys have messages and stuff, we would love to start incorporating. Maybe like a Slacker message or like a little Slacker rant every once in a while. So we can, put you guys on the show because you guys contribute so much in the comments. If you ever have like a little audio you want to drop or a little video, we can do that. So that's what's up.
True.
All right. I think we did it, Strizzy. What you think? You got anything else?
Perfect, man. Perfect timing too.
All right. Let's go ahead and knock this thing out then. For now, that was Say Like a Champ episode 268. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
Peace.
And you say the truth, they open up my eyes.